One of the major challenges we face today as a society is that we don't have enough knowledge to manage and protect our oceans, and in particular the marine ecosystems.
EU is building this digital twin of the ocean, this digital environment that can support policy and decision-making for the management of our oceans. And in order to be able to support policy on topics that relate to marine life, we need biodiversity data in this digital twin.
So we cannot just rely on predicting the future. We need to make sure that what we are predicting represents reality, but also that it reflects a changing environment. This is something that can only work if we have the correct data.
Biodiversity is somehow the forgotten twin in the world of marine sciences.
If we cannot ensure that this information goes into something like the digital twin of the ocean, there's a huge component missing. And we will never completely understand the system if we leave out the most important part, which is life.
Our assignment with DTO Bioflow was to integrate biodiversity monitoring data into the digital twin of the ocean.
The challenge with biodiversity data is that it's very complex.
But as the heterogeneity of the data, how it's actually put together, where it's stored, it's coming from so many different sources, so it has multiple challenges. So in Europe, we have lots of data that we think is available or could be available, and what we're trying to do is find out where there are barriers to it, legal, technical, financial barriers to actually getting these data into pipelines that can be used in the infrastructure, so into a digital twin. So it's about unlocking that.
There are currently quite a lot of new technologies that monitor marine biodiversity.
We know that those data haven't found their way into something bigger. So we are trying to find ways to establish data flows in a sustainable way so we can have different types of biodiversity data from the genomics world, from the imaging, acoustics, biologging, citizen science data even.
To make sure that all these new sensors and technologies that we have available nowadays have the correct pathways to make the data available for the community in an open infrastructure and make it accessible.
We know there are many people and organizations collecting marine biodiversity data, and these data can fill important data gaps that we have identified by EMONET and by DTO Bioflow. But often, these data collectors don't have the time, the money, or the know-how to share their data.
We're trying to teach people, to showcase them, to train them how to make the data flow to Eurobe's EMONET biology and to the DTO.
And that's been a really great process, because what it does is it identifies that people are very willing to do this if they're given a little bit of resource to do it.
Building all these data flows is a major legacy that we will leave to researchers and scientists and anyone who's interested to contribute.
The concept of the digital twin is now in its very early stages. We have established the infrastructure and the data as well, but now it's moving the community to start using those infrastructures.
We have established these end-to-end demonstrators. It really goes from raw observation data to policy supporting application in the DTO. And this is something that really shows the value of the different steps that need to be put in place before you can actually provide science-based information to the policymakers.
The use cases, they're very important because these are the scientific narratives that show, on one hand, how the new knowledge that is needed to manage the ocean is gathered and provided. But on the other hand, also it shows how the technical solutions can look like in the DTO.
And by demonstrating this, I think we can activate the larger community to also contribute in the digital twin and make use of it for their own benefits.
We would like to see the uptake of the technology that we are developing and providing. We would also like to see the broader use of the knowledge that's coming out of the use cases.
It's a first project of its kind, so we learn a lot of lessons that we will share with the community, with other potential users of the digital twin.
This will increase the flow of marine biodiversity data into the DTO and enable more real-world applications.
The legacy is really just showing this workflow of how you can go from a lot of disconnected components to ultimately a tool which can help some policymaker make a good decision which will improve the health of our ocean.